Once upon a time, in a peaceful, quiet, and beautiful American village, there was a man who had 2 wives. Fate decreed that both women would become pregnant and give birth at the same time, and both gave birth to baby girls. The first wife named her daughter Mary, while the second wife named her daughter Lily. As the days passed and the time of departure came, Mary's mother passed away, leaving Mary at the mercy of her stepmother. The 2 girls grew up together, and Mary was always subjected to injustice by her stepmother. Every day, the stepmother would send the 2 girls to herd the animals. She would pack her daughter's bag with delicious food and give her a small ball of yarn to knit, while Mary would receive a stale loaf of bread and some onions and a large ball of yarn to knit. All the hard work fell on Mary, while Lily did all the easy tasks. As the days went by, Lily became more pampered and spoiled, and her face shone with beauty, while Mary lost her enchanting beauty and charm due to exhaustion and fatigue. Mary had a yellow cow that belonged to her mother before she passed away. This cow loved Mary very much, enjoyed playing with her, and shared in her joys and sorrows. When it was Mary's turn to herd the animals, the yellow cow would keep the animals in check and guard them so Mary wouldn't have to struggle with them. But when it was Lily's turn, the cow would chase the animals away, forcing Lily to run after them. The cow never allowed Lily to rest for a moment. There was an old woman whose hair was infested with lice, and she would ask the village girls to help her with her hair. When she approached Lily and asked, "What's in my hair?" Lily would reply, "I don't have time. As you can see, I'm knitting and herding the animals too. I don't need your lice and disgusting hair." But when she approached Mary and asked, "What's in my hair?" Mary would reply, "Welcome, grandmother. Please have a seat." The old woman would rest her head on Mary's lap and be delighted when Mary helped her with her hair, praying for her mother's soul. The old woman noticed that whenever she asked Lily for help, she was refused, but Mary always welcomed her warmly. One day, the old woman was wandering through the village and saw Lily. She asked her the same question, and Lily refused. The old woman looked at her closely and said, "My dear, one day you will come across 2 intersecting springs, one with black water and the other with white water. Wash yourself with the black water and avoid the white water, and you will become more pampered and spoiled, God willing." The next morning, the old woman saw Mary and asked her the same question, and Mary agreed to help. The old woman said, "My dear, one day you will come across 2 intersecting springs, one with black water and the other with white water. Wash yourself with the white water and never go near the black water." As sunset approached, Mary saw the 2 intersecting springs, one black and the other white, in a large pit. She jumped over the black water and washed herself with the white water, then continued her way home. The next day, at the same time, Lily saw the same sight and remembered the old woman's advice. She jumped over the white water and washed herself with the black water, then continued her way home. Day by day, Mary became more beautiful and feminine as she once was, even more so. If you saw her, you would feel that her beauty and graceful figure would captivate your heart. Meanwhile, Lily became more withered and ugly day by day, and her beauty faded. One night, Mary pretended to be asleep and overheard her stepmother telling Lily, "My dear, you are withering day by day." Lily replied, "Mother, Mary's mother's cow hits the animals and scatters them, so I can't sit still for a second." The stepmother paused and then said, "Never mind, Lily, that cow." After hearing those words, Mary couldn't sleep and stayed awake all night, worried and afraid for her cow. At the crack of dawn, the stepmother woke up and told her husband, "My dear husband, Mary's mother passed away, and we haven't slaughtered an animal for her soul. What do you think about slaughtering one of the animals for her?" The husband replied, "You're right. Let's slaughter a ram and some sheep and distribute the meat to the neighbors." His wife quickly interjected, "Why a ram and sheep? Her cow. Maybe this cow is her charity." That same morning, while Mary was herding the animals, she approached her cow and started crying, saying, "My dear cow, please be gentle with Lily. I don't want to lose you." The cow replied, "Don't worry, Mary. When the time comes, I will make my meat as bitter as gall for her and her daughter. But for you, my meat will be the most delicious thing you've ever tasted. When you distribute my meat to the neighbors, ask them to give you my bones and not throw them away. Then go to the field, dig a hole and bury my bones there. Wait for 2 weeks and you will see what happens." Mary said, "But my dear cow, I don't want to lose you. You are the most precious thing I have." In the early afternoon, Mary's father began preparing the cow. Indeed, they started preparing it for cooking and distributed it to the neighbors. The stepmother and the 2 girls began preparing their lunch. But when they tasted the first bite, it was as bitter as gall, and they couldn't continue eating. However, Mary ate with great appetite. The stepmother was puzzled and thought to herself, "This girl doesn't know what good food is." The next morning, Mary prepared to collect the bones and set off on her journey. By noon, she had gathered all the bones and headed to the field, where she buried them. After 2 weeks, she opened the hole and was astonished by what she saw. The hole was filled with gold, diamonds, rubies, silver, and all kinds of precious jewelry. She returned them to their place, fearing that her stepmother would discover them and take them away from her. A few days later, the son of the village chief announced his wedding. All the village girls prepared to attend the celebration, hoping that the chief's youngest son would be impressed by one of them. He was a strong and brave young man, and no one had ever seen anyone like him, with a face as radiant as the full moon. Among those who prepared themselves were Lily and her mother. The stepmother told Mary, "You are not coming. Clean the house and wash the dishes until we return." They left. Mary quickly finished the housework, put on her finest clothes, then went to the hole and took out all the jewelry and adorned herself with it before heading to the wedding. Mary entered the celebration and tried her best to avoid her stepmother. But when Lily's eyes met Mary's, she said to her mother, "Mother, look, Mary is here." Her mother replied, "That's not Mary. Fatima is at home cleaning and washing." Lily insisted, "Mother, I swear it's Mary." Her mother responded, "This girl is beautiful and graceful like the moon, but Mary is thin and withered." Lily fell silent and didn't continue the conversation, but she kept staring at Mary. When Mary felt those stares, she left the celebration and started running in fear of being discovered by her stepmother and facing severe punishment. Meanwhile, the chief's youngest son was wandering through the village, admiring the beauty of nature. As Mary ran and looked back, she collided with the chief's youngest son and almost knocked him down. When their eyes met, he was speechless, captivated by her beauty and charm. But Mary started running hysterically, especially after this embarrassing incident, until she reached home. The chief's son couldn't stop thinking about her and fell in love with her more each day. He decided to search for her house by house until he found her and married her. He and his mother began searching every house in the village, almost losing hope until they reached Mary's house. The stepmother welcomed them warmly. The chief's son asked, "Madam, how many girls do you have in the house?" The stepmother replied, "2 girls, my daughter, who is as beautiful as the moon, and my co-wife's ugly daughter." The chief's son said, "Show me both of them." Lily entered first, and the chief's son said, "No, it's not her. The girl I saw was the most beautiful girl I've ever seen." He added, "Show me your co-wife's daughter." The stepmother replied, "But she's not beautiful. She's ugly." He insisted, "Show her to me." The stepmother called Mary with annoyance. When Mary entered, the chief's son exclaimed with joy, "It's her! It's her! I will marry you today. Will you accept?" A faint smile appeared on Mary's face, and she shyly said, "Yes." The chief's son, his face beaming with happiness, said, "Then we will prepare everything, and tomorrow we will get married." The stepmother began plotting a way to make the chief's son marry her daughter instead of Mary. On the wedding day, while the village was bustling with songs, dancing, and animals for a grand wedding celebration, the stepmother locked Mary in the oven and dressed her daughter in the wedding clothes. In ancient customs, the bride would be carried on a horse or something similar to reach her husband's house. As they were about to mount the bride on the horse, a rooster perched on top of a tree and crowed loudly. Mary with the angelic face is locked in the oven, and Lily the withered one will sleep in the palace. He kept repeating this. The stepmother understood the rooster and showed signs of annoyance, but the guests didn't understand a thing. They asked her, "What is the rooster saying and why are you annoyed?" She replied, "It's nothing," but they began listening to the rooster. The rooster told them the full story of Mary and Lily. He directed them to the oven. When they opened it, they found Mary hidden inside. They took her out, dressed her in the bridal clothes, and returned Lily to the oven. The wedding proceeded with great joy and celebration, and Mary and the chief's son lived happily ever after. And so my story ends. I hope you liked it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to receive all that is new. Have a nice day.